This is not where I was supposed to be today. It's a total surprise, like so much of my life these days. 4 years ago on this date, I took the final, well, not the final, but the biggest leap of making my full-time nomadic philanthropy a reality. And I left work at Central Washington University for the last time, climbed in my truck, and drove to Seattle knowing I no longer had a place to live outside of my truck. Job was gone, and I was devoting myself and committing myself to making this philanthropy a reality. And it was a heck of a leap. I can hardly believe it's been 4 years now. And of course, people talk to me all the time, mostly about the truck. Hell is a diva, no question. But many of those conversations lead to purpose. And, 4 years down the road and going stronger than certainly a couple of years ago. And I am just blown away how the path keeps revealing itself. And I love having conversations about purpose with people. It's really wonderful. Of course, the most common questions are, how did you find this purpose for yourself? And I've gone over that before. I don't need to rehash that tale. What I've come to some personal beliefs regarding purpose over the course of this. And I find it fascinating. I think some people's purpose kind of just manifests in their lives without them even trying. Then there's others who have an epiphany, which was kind of my deal, brought on by some cataclysmic event in their lives, be it positive or negative, that start to reveal a purpose, or at least a new direction in their lives. And either way, it's not discovering it as much as it's making it happen. And, people want to know, how do you do that? Because lots of times people talk to me about their dreams, what they wish they could do, and they just can't see a way to do it. So here's the thing, in my opinion. The way you do it is you elevate it in your life. Initially, you elevate it in your consciousness, this purpose or this idea, this dream, whatever you want to call it, that heart's desire that compels you, that you just wish so much could be what you were doing. You have to elevate that in your consciousness. And it doesn't cost anything to do that. A lot of times getting to your ultimate goal takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money, investment. Sometimes it doesn't take that. It all depends on what that purpose is. But no matter what your purpose is, you have to elevate it in your consciousness. Doing, dream boards on the wall, posting things somewhere, buying a URL, with the name of what you want to do in it. You have to do something to start getting it in your head that this is coming, that this is where I'm going to, that's what I'm supposed to move toward. And tell people. That's another thing, is you have to start talking about it. These are all things that don't cost anything, that begin making it real, begin putting energy behind the idea or the purpose that you feel you've been given. And it's all these things, these baby steps in terms of your energy, that begin to reveal if it is the direction you're going, or they start shifting the direction and begin making it real. It doesn't cost anything to elevate your idea in your consciousness and quit dreaming about it, but start talking about it, to the people in your life, to yourself, in any of your social media. Put it out there. Get yourself out there. Get that determination out there. And then as you do this, you will begin attracting elements that are going to support what it is you feel you're supposed to do. It's remarkable. The more you elevate it in your consciousness, the more you start finding ways to take little baby steps toward it. Maybe you give up something that you've always thought you just had to have, a big distraction in your life that cost, financial resources that you could really use toward your purpose. As your purpose grows in your mind and your heart and your spirit, you're going to start redirecting not only your energy to it, but your financial resources, your personal connections and relationships. And as the people that love you learn about it, they're going to start thinking of it and associating you with that idea and that purpose. And they're going to be on alert and thinking of ways they can help. And the magic starts happening. And it really is a magical thing. And as this energy kind of grows and this foundation grows beneath you of this idea, that's when you start taking some actual tangible leaps. Start giving up some things in exchange for moving toward your purpose. You examine your relationships, you examine your resources, you examine every element of your life and see how you can adjust to move towards your goal. And I'm telling you, as you do these things and you move in faith, because it takes a hell of a lot of faith. I'm not talking religion, I'm talking faith. The courage to pursue what you feel you should do. As you take these steps, the way starts showing up. It's just unbelievable. I'm constantly surprised. Even more so now. I'm 4 years in, and you'd think you'd reach a point where you're like, yeah, that's just the way it goes. The way always reveals itself. It's like magic. No, it hits you harder and harder. At least it does me. The magic of how it is. 4 years in, I'm going stronger now. There's been endless challenges. I have mechanical failures like any nomad. I had to make repairs on the road. When I said in the opening little clip, walking the water, I wasn't supposed to be here today. I wasn't. I thought I was stranded. I was making radiator repair, and Paul and I built some custom bracketry to put in a performance aluminum radiator in the truck to solve my cooling ails that I've been having for several months. And at first we thought the radiator was defective, and out of nowhere yesterday, it's not leaking anymore. And no, it wasn't hoses or anything like that. It was the core. So surprise after surprise. And so today, when I thought I'd be, stranded like the last few days at their place, I'm out road testing the truck, and I had to get some real speed up. And so I ended up here as a place to be for a few hours. While the truck cools down, I can do another cycle, another hot, cold cycle. And it's just amazing. So I, like any nomad, when your vehicle's down, it's depressing. It really is. Even if you're somewhere that's nice, like being at Paul's place is super beautiful, but just that reality that I can't move. I can't go if I need to. I'm going to have to postpone this or that or the other thing, or my plans get changed. That's depressing. Nobody likes to be broken down. Even more so a person who lives in their vehicle. That's like a big deal for us. And to all of a sudden turn the corner, and now I'm here with my freedom again and everything working beautifully, better than ever before, is so classic how my life is going these days. And it's all because I've been willing to take leaps of faith. And I just want to encourage you. Oh, classic me, pick a spot that I think is all quiet and private. And I thought it was too overgrown back there, but no, people walk through here through the stickers. Oh, anyway, your faith and willingness to risk is pretty much everything in getting to do something you love instead of doing something that you feel like you just have to. And I'm not talking about situations where you have constraints from decisions you made. I mean, I'm in a uniquely blessed position. I don't have young children anymore. Parenting never ends, though. Anybody who's a parent knows that. And part of the beauty of my lifestyle is I get to spend significant time with both my children, even though they live 600 miles apart from each other. So that's a blessing. But you really do have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to get to those dreams. They don't happen without a lot of sacrifice. And the thing is, once you get the hang of it, the sacrifice comes easy. You don't even feel like you're sacrificing because you have so much gratitude that you get to do what you're doing. Anyway, that's my experience, and I've seen it in other people. I've had these conversations with other people who are really either doing something they love or they're living the way they love, and it's similar conversations. We have some interesting conversations, but really that willingness to sacrifice, that elevating of your idea in your consciousness and taking the leaps with a lot of faith because you just don't know how it's going to work. Unless you're independently wealthy, you got to take huge risks in order to do something like this, to completely change your course. And if you start examining your life, you may find a lot of what you think you have to be happy are things you're using to pretty much distract and compensate for the fact that you're not very happy with what you're doing. And I encourage you to examine that stuff. I mean, if you're thrilled to death what you're doing, you're really blessed. I had this conversation with lots of people, and it's interesting. It's a minority that are like thrilled to death with what they're doing with their lives. And it's always very illuminating to have those conversations. And I just want to encourage all my followers and everybody who supports the work I'm doing, which wouldn't be possible without my patrons and supporters. Wouldn't be possible at all. I would have run out of funds long ago because, as many of you know, I've just been burning through my retirement funds. I mean, this was totally fucking idiotic to do from a financial retirement perspective. But, lots changed in my life, and I don't presume that I'm going to have 25 years down the road to do this. Oh, here comes a beaver. Turbine beaver. That's not right. You should have a round engine. All my aviation friends will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I can't put a price on the feeling that, literally when I go to sleep at night, every night, there's not a time I go to bed thinking, wow, I wish I was doing something else. I go to bed satisfied every night with what I'm doing and happy in my life and my purpose. And that's worth everything. Anyway, I just wanted to take this opportunity on the 4-year anniversary of the full-time launch of Jackdaw to talk about that and to encourage anybody that's out there, whoever inspires you, take that inspiration and run with it in little ways at first, and you can turn it into something really significant. You have the power within you. As children, we're powerless. We are subjected to whatever our family dynamics are. But once we're adults, we have the power to reparent ourselves, to correct, poor survival traits we may have learned as children, to educate ourselves, to find a new way for ourselves. We don't have to stay in the rut we're in. You have the power to change course anytime you need to. Not only do you have the power, you have the right. You have the absolute right to change your mind. And a purpose you pursue passionately for years may not turn out to be the right one, and you can change it. I could turn the corner a year from now or 2 years from now and be like, geez, I'm supposed to be doing something else now. And I'll dive right into it if that happens, So free your heart, free your spirit, and be willing to believe in yourself. You really need to believe in yourself to make stuff happen, to make things happen in your life that you feel in your heart you want. So there you go, 4 years down of full-time nomadic photo philanthropy. I can hardly believe it. It really does blow my mind. And thank you all for your support. And let's knock out a few more. Take good care of yourselves. The way reveals itself as you go. You just have to start walking.